Kingsley. Some members of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), led by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Nyesom Wike, have thrown their weight behind Samuel Anyanwu as the substantive national secretary of the party. This was as they urged the party to zone its presidential tickets to the south ahead of 2027 elections. The PDP stakeholders, including three former governors, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu, Okeze Akezu of Abia, and Samuel Otom of Benue, made the demand after a meeting held in Abuja on Monday night. We therefore unequivocally affirm Senator Anyanwu as the truly elected substantive national secretary of our great party. In the spirit of fairness and respect for our party constitution, the party must make an unequivocal announcement zoning its presidential candidates to the south in the 2027 election, they said in a communique read by Wike. According to the stakeholders, only Anyanwu can issue notices of meetings of the National Convention, National Working Committee, National Caucuses, and National Executive Council (NEC), which is the party's highest organ.
It is good when you fight with in-house enemy. You should be able to understand the intricacies that are obtainable.
Okay.
The G4 is the problem. It's a major problem. Not just that they are the only one causing problem in PDP, but they are a major problem in PDP. The G4. The Nyesom Wike, the Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, the Okeze Ikpeazu, the Samuel Otom, and all that. And look at, they have come to affirm that Samuel Anyanwu is the substantive secretary of PDP, as against Sunday Okoye of the Southeast Caucus. Now, the reason for this is to keep PDP in disarray until 2027. So they are anti their own party. Now look at, they are insisting that PDP must zone its candidate to the south. Who will be that candidate? They should zone their presidential candidate to south. Who will that candidate be? Will it be Bola Tinubu, who is from south? Will they now come to say, okay, we uphold the candidacy of APC presidential candidate, which is Bola Tinubu? Or will they say, okay, let Nyesom Wike come and be the presidential candidate of PDP as to contest against Tinubu? Who will that person be? Or do they just want to achieve the goal that Atiku is out of the ballot? So you see, just like I said earlier in this very studio, that PDP is the problem of itself. The enemies of PDP are within the PDP. And the administration of Ilia Damagum had not been able, they have not been politically strong enough to deal with these men that are playing anti-party in PDP. And now this is 2025. We have just divided the year into half, and we have by this time next year, I think there should be well spelled out positions of every political party, and PDP will still be groping around all this here and there. So, as a major opposition party, and the party that has held the leadership of this country for 16 years, APC has just succeeded in making mess of them.
Of PDP?
Yeah. Because you see the people, these four men that we talked about here, right, in 2023 stood vehemently against the candidacy of a PDP candidate. So they stood in support of APC candidate while they were serving in PDP, standing as serving governors. You see to that. And apart from the Ugwuanyi and Nyesom Wike, the rest lost their offices. I didn't want to bring Seyi Makinde. I didn't want to bring him. Right. That's why I mentioned G4 and leave the other person. Right. Now, Ugwuanyi returned Mba. Labour Party, a baby political party, knocked them off. In Benue State, APC, not bottom up. But you still see them still coming to speak for PDP after playing major anti-party in 2023 general election. So who is that wise man that will not call them enemies of the party?
Very well, thank you so much. Do you think the G4 are enemies of the party, or you think they are just trying to reclaim structure?
I see politics differently from my friend. Very differently, though, because I'm a politician. Politics is just a game of interest.
Okay.
Are you hearing me?
All right.
Political parties are mere vehicles that takes us to achieving our interest. Politics is just a game that involves decision making. And in that decision making, it involves power dynamics, negotiations, and conflicts. So when you are not able to, how do I call it, surmount the power dynamics around you, you complain. There is no politician who is prepared to be in politics that won't be ready to face those power dynamics, those conflicts and challenges. If you think politics is marriage, then you can go to marry a wife. Even in marriage, there are times the marriage becomes a culling, challenging, that you need to be able to, pass through some rigorous processes to come up to agreement with your spouse, as it were. So, that this person supported a president of another political party in 2023 doesn't mean they want to kill their political party.
Isn't that anti-party?
No. Several persons play anti-party almost all the time, including the current suspended governor of Rivers State supported this sitting president from PDP. Is it not true? So why are we not involving him as those who played anti-party? Well, no, we should also call him too. And some other persons. Politics, like I said, is always a game of interest. That they had an interest for a candidate, for PDP presidential candidate in 2023, and it did not work. It could probably mean that the process through which the other person, evolved to them may not be right, and they didn't see it as what was right. And they insisted that rather than supporting this person, we support another person.
Why do you draw the line between anti-party and party conflict?
Politics is first game of interest.
Okay.
And the interest is personal. That I have a political party. If that political party doesn't do what I want, I can decide to fight my party as far as I achieve my interest. Now, it is incumbent on that political party to say that we have played an anti-party. And if that party understands you played an anti-party and think that they have consequences that should be meted on me, they should do it. Perhaps PDP doesn't have a constitution. Perhaps. Because if they do, there must be some areas in that constitution that specified what should be done to somebody who played anti-party, isn't it?
Right.
Now, if there is, and they are not able to lift those areas, those sections, and do whatever is supposed to be done, are you blaming these persons that you claim did anti-party? I won't blame them. And so what they are doing is interest. And in 2020, remember that there was this quest that the presidential candidate should be zoned to the south. Whatever that happened within that period, at the end, Atiku got it. It's left for them. And they are saying that if we must go forward in 2027, the ticket should be zoned back to the south. Which, of course, they are right. Because the northerner in Buhari just finished as president. And so it therefore means that in 2023, taken from the gentleman agreement we have always been having, that after the north, the south takes over, it should have been zoned to the south. For whatever reason, which we don't want to delve into, that I think we got it. We are entering into a new political dispensation. Another election is about to come. And they are saying, zone it back to the south, where it should come, it should go to. They are not making a mistake. Now, talking about the secretary of the party.
Right, that's where I was headed.
The secretary of the party was elected in a convention, in a national convention, and can never be removed by a sectional caucus. You can only remove him by a court, or you go back to a convention. And so whatever the people from the east, the southeast, are doing the man is not a zonal secretary. If he was a zonal secretary, the caucus from the south, it can pick another person and replace him. But he emerged in a convention and can never be removed by anything outside convention or by a superior court order or court judgment. And so, for the fact that he remains the secretary of that party, whatever decisions or any letter that should be written must come from this office. Any letter going to INEC or going to anywhere must come from his INEC, from his office. If there must be a meeting that should be convoked, that meeting must be called from his office, whether from the convention, from the NEC, from the national, whatever level of oppression or organogram of that party. He is the one that should sign it. Until the time that is removed in a convention, or there was a Supreme Court judgment recently, and the court said that he remains the secretary. In fact, the court said that the party should handle their internal affairs.
Right.
And since then, the party has not done anything to handle this matter. And so, no amount of whatever it is coming from any zone that should remove the Anyanwu still remains the secretary of the party from the constitution of their own party, and even the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kingsley. We'll wrap up from you, Mr. Eze. You know, this whole thing happening in the PDP, the court has said, put your party in order. Do you think they have taken any step whatsoever to put their party together?
That's why I said that, you know, what instituted the administration of Iliya Damagum is what has kept PDP, you know, rolling around the circle. And I have not seen Damagum as standing up to speak boldly as a leader in PDP because of how he came into power. He does not have the moral standing to speak against Nyesom Wike, who brought him. You know, when Ayu left, they had to bring Damagum. Actually, Damagum didn't come from the geopolitical zone where Ayu's replacement should have come from. But however, whatever happens, just as Honorable Kingsley has said, politics is a game of interest. But I am a different person with different view when it comes to politics with Kingsley. Because I will not, because of my selfish interest, balkanize the entire system. My interest is that this society belongs to all of us. And if there is anywhere all around the world where society works fine, Nigeria, my own society, should be part of it. That is my driving force. So it is not about what suits me or what comes to me. No. That is why you see Nigerian as a system, you know, collapsing here and there. Right. So for me, Damagum has not done the right thing and does not have the power to do the right thing, and will continue to rigmarole until 2027 will come and go. When finally they will have the convention that Anyanwu will call up, right, then there will be no time. If Anyanwu is leaving, whoever comes will come to meet failure. And it is unfortunate that is happening to PDP. But after happening to PDP, APC should wait for their own turn.
They might not have to wait, but thank you so much for your insight on that report. Well, this is where we wrap it up on this episode.